All right, you're welcome. Good afternoon to you. This is Good Afternoon Ghana, and it's an exciting day for us. Maybe nervous for some of you because there's been an advice that's come that eat before you watch TV at 6 p.m. I don't know who would do that, but I have already. I'm sitting here satisfied because our boys are going to be playing, and sometimes the results we don't really like it. Let's see how it's going to go today. Black Stars versus Brazil. It's indeed a match that you really want to watch, whether we lose or we win. But definitely, I'm Ghanaian, so yeah, I want to win. So let's see how that's going to happen today. We're going to be talking about it in a few minutes. I have Nana Ajiman with me. I have Phil John Kote with me. I will have Felix Kwachofosu, who is regularly a politician, very hard one. But I think he's been very vociferous and active on the football talk on his social media platforms, and the analysis he's been making there. We can link up to him later on. And we'll have also our old Yaompo for Ankara, who has been, with Metro TV for some time, as well as Nana Jiman as well. But Yaompo for Ankara is in France, so we'll link up with him in about 20 minutes. Let's see if he can give us a fever of what's going on there. So, yeah, it's a packed afternoon. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll start the discussion. All right, you're welcome back to the program. It's Good Afternoon, Ghana. And, my bus is already clear. I'm Ghanaian. Phil John Kote is with me. Phil, you're welcome. I'm good. Yeah, I heard Nana admiring you for what you did for the Queen, the late Queen.
No, I've got a brick here that I want to throw across the studio to the head. There's no admiration there at all.
I was only busy myself with international relations.
I
That's
know,
it.
I know.
Do you know what I admired, actually, for me?
Yeah.
When you guys were about to start, then you took a walk. It was some gracious, looks like Queen steps to the screen to start discussing the Queen's death. Interesting. Anyway, you're welcome. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
So I already told you that we're going to have Yaompo for Ankara join us from France, and also Felix Kwachofosu, who's been quite active on the football discussion and chats on his social media platforms. He was supposed to join us in the studio, but for some emergency, he can't make it. But he's also willing to join us via phone or Zoom. So let's see if we can get him, and then he will join in pretty shortly. You're welcome, gentlemen. Good afternoon once again. A quick introductions, maybe your first reactions to what we're expecting today. And then I'll give you fixtures of what Ghana will be going through in the next. Producers, how many matches? I think I'll have 3 matches fixtures to give. So let me start with you, Nana.
Well, it's not so much, I don't really want to open up so much on what my expectations are, but what I want to say is that we all need to remember this is not a World Cup fixture. It's a friendly. It's a game in which the technical team can assess the strength and the quality and the cohesion of the players that they have available. I think we've ramped the game up a bit too much because we're facing Brazil. And I don't want a situation where our players are full obsessed, full of life for this game, and then when we get to the World Cup, they're dormant. Because sometimes we can be quite mediocre. Because, in 2014, when we only secured a point out of 9, we were all running our mouths up saying, well, we drew against the team that won the cup eventually. And so we weren't defeated by Germany. And so that was supposed to be our claim to fame. It's mediocrity. And whilst I want to see a great performance and I would love to see Ghana win the match, I would much prefer that we lost, so that if we perform badly in the World Cup, we wouldn't start saying, well, we beat Brazil in a friendly. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I understand, but
yeah.
What does it matter?
No, it matters. It does matter. Because you see, the vim that we have for this game is something that must be carried over into the World Cup, right? And that might be something that's difficult to do because who's the best team in the world? It's the Brazilians. It's the Brazilians, and everyone is really geared up for this game. But you're not playing them in the World Cup. It's a friendly for assessment purposes only. If you win, it will be news. If you lose, it won't be news because the world punters expect us to lose that game. If we draw, it will even be news. You understand? So I want us to take this game in our stride. It's for assessment purposes only. It's a great opportunity to use the players who have been called up, who have changed their nationalities, etc., to put them in that game. I don't believe that if you put them in the game and we lost the game, that it will necessarily be a demotivating factor. Because I think that the adrenaline is going to be so high that even if we lost 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, it would not demotivate the players because you are playing against the ultimate when it comes to football.
Phil, the way Ghanaians are very enthusiastic about a game between Ghana versus Brazil, sometimes it's Ghana versus Nigeria, when these two teams are going to, play against us. We seem very enthusiastic about it, excited. We can't wait to see the end results. Do Brazilians feel the same way about Ghanaians when they're playing with us?
Well, I thank you very much. I think what we need to know is that Brazil is supposed to be the hub of football in the world. When we're talking about football, no matter how poor sometimes they can be. But anytime you are playing against Brazil, everybody looks up to you.
Exactly.
And first of all, let me commend the leadership of the FA to choosing Brazil because of Uruguay.
For this friendly.
Proud to the World Cup. And remember, we will play a certain team from Managua, that is the guys from Nicaragua too, later on the 27th of September. But the issue of Brazil proud to the World Cup is a major big step to play. I was taken by surprise why we decided to play by Brazil. But later, after doing my research here, and I find out the reason why. Is to build up the momentum of the team, saying that you can play in another thing. And proud to this very, very game, the bars around it, everything around it. You check out what is happening in the camp of the Black Stars, the arrival of the new boys, what they brought, the competition that will be in the team. So the decision to play Brazil is fine. It will build our momentum. And anytime you want to win the World Cup or make a statement in world football, remember that you need to meet the best. And just like Nana is saying, currently, Brazil are the best team in the world, according to FIFA rankings.
Yeah, but I don't know. There seems to be some sort of rift between Ghana and Brazil. I don't know if they feel the same way when they're coming to meet us. Are they equally excited? Are they looking forward to these guys? We're the best, but there seem to be a certain, I don't know,
I think we told a story during the FIFA World Cup in South Africa. When all the African countries were out, it was also left with Ghana, and they said, say, Bayana. Everyone was saying that, what is Ghana? Remember that at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup, we beat them, and they were taken by surprise. Though it was a 20 world level, they needed to pay us back. We've played 4 friendly matches. They're beating us almost every game. We conceded 13 goals against them. But anytime they're going to play Ghana, Ghana is supposed to be one of the best countries playing football in Africa. But we are associated with them as if we play the fine football just like they do in South America. So yes, playing against us, they know the stuff that we have in world football. Remember that we have Thomas Partey who plays in the EPL, just like most of their players play in the EPL. So yes, they have to be very careful how to tackle our issue. It's only the friend like Nana is saying, but so much is at stake. Remember too, for the Brazilian national team, they have to look for replacement in the World Cup. Yesterday, I was looking through social media, and there was this scenario whereby, if you look at the Brazilian national team, aside their main first 11, you could do another 11 to play Ghana. That shows that there's a competition that everybody wants to go to the World Cup. So aside playing Ghana, they know the competition they're looking for to look for spot in the World Cup final.
I haven't said that. How does it feel like when we don't have such a backup?
No, but I think that the issue is because he's not answered the question. He hasn't answered the question.
Okay, Toby.
The point is this. Any team that the Brazil are going to play, they recognize that team is going to be psyched up like crazy to beat them.
Of course, when you're an underdog,
they are the team to beat in the world. Brazil, they are the team to beat. But for them, It's a normal day out at the office. The expectations are from the technical bench, the supporters, the players themselves, is that they're going to get a result. Whether it's a resounding result or not, at the end of 90 minutes, the expectations are the world over that Brazil would win this game. And it won't be bad if they do. It's not going to be anything bad if they do, because we must remember we're assessing, we're having a look at how these players can fit in. And I would hope that Otuado would be brave, because I don't see that. I think he's going to go with players that he's played before. And I think he should go beyond that, because this is a really big test. The Inaki Williams, all those new boys who are called up,
Right.
they're really ready for this game.
Right. And I think fans seem to have so much faith in them. I haven't heard so much criticism for the new boys
Well,
that
they're
have come on board.
performing at a high level in European football. So that's why. I mean, so I would hope that the coach wouldn't just think, okay, let me go with the team that beat Nigeria. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's try something different, because this is the stage where you try things. Do you understand? You can't try anything else when you get to the World Cup. You must try everything now. We've got 3 games, and I've heard we may get another game on top. These are the games that you try different systems, different formations, players in different positions, if you like, or put new players in. This is the time when you do it, irrespective of the fact that you're going to play against Brazil or not. This is the time that you do that. If he rolls out a
But
team...
I don't think I got the answer from what you said. I mean, regardless, Brazil always looking out for, if they're meeting any team, the team is going to be looking forward to scoring
them.
or beating
No,
them.
they don't have
but
that.
do they,
They
have
don't have
the same
that.
excitement when they're meeting Ghanaians?
No. I mean, look, we claim to be the Brazilians of Africa.
Of Africa.
Right? They're not even listening to that. There's only one Brazil when you go out on that field, and it's Neymar and his crew. Now, we want to upset the apple cart, and if we won that game, it wouldn't bruise anything, it wouldn't damage anything in the fortitude of the players or the technical team, blah, blah, blah. It would give them things to look at. Okay. Oh, we were deficient here, we were deficient there. Ghana exposed us. Okay. It's a great exercise for them, and nothing else. As Johnny said, they've got 2, 3, 4, 5 different Brazil setups, if they like, and they're all top-class quality. They're all good quality. So they don't have the same anticipation, the same excitement and zest necessarily like we do, but of course they look forward to a good challenge. Why not? They're looking forward to a competitive game that will test them in every department of the game, but they expect to come out the winners at the end of the day.
Okay, producers, do you have those fixtures ready? Okay, if we can have those fixtures, and then our football sports analyst will take us through, if we can have it on the screen. Okay, I think, Phil, okay, you have it. So we have Black Stars P World Cup friendlies. We have Brazil, Ghana, September 23, 2022, that's today. Nicaragua versus Ghana is September 27th, 2022. Please you take note of that, 27th, 2022. And then we have Switzerland versus Ghana, 17th November 2022. So have we made the best selection or choices for, assessing ourselves before the World Cup?
I think that's a tough one. Taken by surprise. It's a very tough one. That's the Brazil game. Very, very tough one. I mean, going to the World Cup, we have fresh players. Probably they need to prove to the rest of Ghanaians that we are the men can represent the nation. Playing against Brazil will be very, very tough. Like we say, they are the best team in the world. And again, let's talk about Nicaragua. They are in Central America.
I'm not sure about Nicaragua's game.
Of course.
I'm not sure how they play.
They are close to South America if you are in North America. So certainly they know that, and the game is growing in the northern in American part.
Okay.
So you can't write them off.
Okay.
Even Switzerland will give you tough game because they have some qualified players.
Right.
But let's talk about Nicaragua. They are also good. Very, very, very good. Most of their players apply their trade in Brazil.
Ooh.
And if you apply your trade in Brazil, that means you are very, very tough because it is one of the difficult leagues to play in the whole wide world. Very, very hectic. And it can be very chaotic too. So yes, these are the fixtures. And like I said earlier on, I was taken by surprise that we chose to play Brazil because it's not an easy job to come against the Seleções.
The captain of the team said something. It was captured by Ghana. Where let me just read it. If you was, he said, although Ghana possesses some quality players, I believe that Ghana is not up to world-class standard of the Brazilian team. Yeah. So according to him, though the South Americans have a rich team with players who play for some of the biggest clubs in the world, the Black Stars will give them a tough challenge in the friendly match. Brazil, quote, Brazil is currently, for me, the best in the world. We are playing the best, and we have to acknowledge that they have players playing in top clubs week in, week out, winning trophies, Andrew said at the pre-matches conference, press conference. I thought, when I read this, what I thought was maybe as a captain, when they were discussing which teams to play, he pushed for the best team, or he helped push for them to meet the best team.
Who, the captain?
Yes, the captain.
I'm not sure if he played any role in a selection of what teams
the teams
would play.
Don't play any role.
No, really.
No,
they don't ask them.
It's a management
That's
decision.
true. That's okay. I mean, I get the management bit, but they don't speak with their players and say.
I can't say because I'm not there. But if I was management, I don't need to speak to the players about it. I'm the one who's going to set it with the other management committee members. I don't need to consult the players.
I think the only consultation they do, it has to do with the technical team as to where to go. Yeah.
Yes,
that's
they
what
would be a part of it. Yeah. They would be a part of it. But I think he's absolutely right. I mean, they're playing the best team.
Yeah.
My thing is this. If you look at how it is now, mentally they're at the peak right now. There are just few hours to go. The adrenaline is flowing.
Yeah.
When it comes to playing Nicaragua, it's going to be a completely different mindset. Completely different mindset. It's not going to be the same mindset that they're taking into the Brazil game. And same when they go to
what kind of mindset?
If you can, well, the vim that they have right now will not be there. Of course, it's a friendly. No problem, it's a friendly. But the desire to outplay Nicaragua and actually win that game will not be there. It won't be the same desire as the desire today to play Brazil. And it's going to be the same with Switzerland, and that can make a big difference.
And let me come in here. I think playing against the Brazil, we have something to pick against them. If you look at the record behind, it's quite embarrassing on our part, though there's nothing we can do about it. Play 4 games. I'm not saying anything. 4 games. We lost all of them.
Yeah, but it's against Brazil.
We considered 13 goals against the Brazilians.
Not a big deal.
But when you say we lost all, it can't necessarily be we lost all. We played draws because if we're doing what do you call it?
There was no draw. We didn't.
What do we have here?
There's no draw.
No, there's no draw.
What do we have here?
There's no draw.
Oh, these are draws. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Then go ahead. I guess
playing against them, just like Nana is saying, there's a certain enthusiasm. Go and get the results.
Okay.
Go and get the results and get some image for yourself going to the World Cup. And just like I said, I'll say again, when you're playing the likes of Neymar, you're playing Edison in goal, they have all the top club players around the world. Whether you play in France or England or Spain, they have the best players. When you play against them, even when you lose, you have to learn something for you to pick it up. That's the basic thing. We are not going there thinking that we're going to beat the Brazilians. It's not going to be possible. Though it will be the 8th wonder of the world to beat them. It's possible to beat the Brazilians. I'm surprised I came to the studio, I saw the Ghana flag rise again on your face. Because at the end of the day, you might have to wipe it.
Well, anybody that puts a flag on their face will wipe it at the end of the day.
Wipe it. I'm just hoping that there will be no tears going around it, by the way.
Get yourself a scarf.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wipe it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm past the stage of crying when Ghana, concede some goals. But now I don't.
Grateful.
Because my mindset is different.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm expecting them to score doesn't mean that I'm expecting by all means they have to.
You mean
the
Ghanaian to score?
Like you said, it's an 8th wonder of the
score.
world.
Oh, we can score.
We can score.
We can score.
At least these are 13 goals against 2.
Yeah, so
we've given
scored
them
before.
2 goals before.
Yeah, we scored.
In the match that they beat us by 8 goals to 2, that was the only time we scored against them.
Yeah, but I
It
mean,
doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
they gave us 8 and we gave them 2 out of the 8.
Antigua.
that was some time ago. That was some time ago. I think, my concerns are about the eventual lineup and what the coach is prepared to do, how brave that technical team is prepared to be with their formation and with the players they're going to use. Look, I think that, they know the Amatis, they know the Adoys, they know the Jiku, they know Jojo Wallacott, and I would not fault them for Jojo Wallacott starting and those 3 being in the back 3, because I'm an advocate of a 3-5-2. So I've got no problem if Adoy starts, Jiku, Amati, because I think they're solid, and they're all interchangeable. Anyone can go into central defense while the other one goes on the left or goes on the right. I think it's perfect, right? That, for me, that's even my starting lineup for the World Cup itself. I think Party has issues, I've got to be honest with you, because Arsenal have even written to the FA saying, look,
Be careful the way you use it.
don't stress him out too much, because right now he's injury prone and he's taking longer and longer to recover. So,
But he's on the active match, he's not on the bench.
well, he needs to start. He has to start because he has to regain that playing time and everything. He has to regain command in the centre of the park. He's a part of the spine, from Wallacott through Jiku through to Partey. And so I think that what we need is you should throw Tariq Lamptey into the deep end. Throw him into the deep end on a 3-5-2.
So this is the squad. We have the squad.
Yeah.
You're talking about the players, I think one after the other, but we have the squad here, those who were called into... Sorry, let me just bring my mic closer. So we have Abdul Manaf, Nuruddin, we have Joseph Wallacott, we have Tariq. Is it Tariq? Okay, Lamptey. We have Tivin, Dennis, Joseph, Inaki. We have Gideon Baba, Alexander, Elisha Owusu, Alidu, Seidu, Mohamed Salisu, Felix Afinajan. We have Thomas Partey. We have Isayaku, Fatau, Mohamed Kudus. I'm excited about Kudus.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can play behind the strikers. Don't get too excited.
No, I don't like your... He's okay.
But we've got to be real, because since he scored like 5 or 6 goals or what, everybody's talking about false nine, false nine, false nine. It's not as simple as that. Because you see, the players that he plays with in Ajax...
So listen, Robert Coleman says, Annie, I have absolute confidence in the Stars. Gone are those days when they can outplay us. We are going to beat them tonight. I'm very confident and extremely optimistic.
I think we shouldn't make
This
too
is
much-
Who
optimism.
said that? Who said that?
Robert Coleman.
Who's that?
You don't know Wembley Sports Stadium?
Who's that?
Fanatics.
You don't know Wembley Sports?
And he says who is going to beat who.
Pardon?
And he says who is going to beat who.
We'll beat them. Optimism.
Yeah, okay, fine. My thing is...
I think we were talking about
No, my thing is kudos, right? It's okay saying false 99999, right? The players that play with him in Ajax are different players to the ones that play with him in the Ghana Black Stars.
Yeah.
So the way the ball goes up the field, in transitions from defense to midfield to attack, that leaves him in a position where he only has one touch and bang, it's in the back of the net. It's a complete different scenario.
Yeah.
We can't recreate that situation.
I think the key word over here is it has to involve the new boys into this very game. And remember, too, it's a trial match.
Yes.
So if you think we want to go our best because you want to make a statement against the Brazilians, let's not.
I just want to know
ourselves.
what the producers have displayed. Why do we have Mohamed Salisu, Felix Jan, Afinia?
In red.
In red. Why do we have
I think
them in
those are
red?
the new. I think those are the new. No, I don't
Producers,
think-
can you just speak into
I
my
don't think
ears?
that-
Why do we have them in red?
No, I don't think so. There's nothing wrong because aside
Okay, they were
Salisu-
not at the camp at the time the
Yeah,
compilation
yeah,
was
they-
done.
they-
Okay, okay,
Because Salisu is part of the new boys that came. So is
Okay.
a few of them in the squad.
okay. Because just in case they watch the screen, they wonder why our names in red. Yeah, they were not at the camp at the time, but today they're all there. So we still have Suleimana Kamaldeen, we have Daniel Kofitre, we have Jordan Ayew, Andrew Ayew, Baba Idrisu, Daniel Efriye, we have Osman Bukari, we have Antoine, Samenyo, we have Rangsford and Yeboah, and then we have Daniel Amati, Richard Ufuri.
Yeah.
We have a good squad though.
Yeah.
I think,
That's a good squad.
yeah, that's a good squad. It's the blending, which is the key thing.
That's a good squad.
Blending the new and the
Blending
old.
the new and
I
old.
tell you
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
we were saved because Benjamin Tete was picked, but he got himself injured. But I don't know why he was picked in the first place because he hasn't been scoring any goals.
Not at all.
So I don't know why he was picked. But then he got himself injured, so he's not there.
Already the move to Hull City was something else.
Well, I don't know how it
something
happened.
else. It was
I don't
something
know how
else.
it happened.
That's it.
I don't know how that happened.
The key thing is how to blend the new boys with the old guys. That's the most important thing. If we do it very, very well at these trial matches, not only the Brazil game, maybe against Nicaragua and Switzerland, we could tell a statement of the World Cup. But if we said we're going straight, go and get results against Brazil at all costs, I think we'll be laughing on the wrong side of the line when we get to the World Cup.
This is what I'm
Let's
saying.
use this opportunity to tell the rest of the world that, hey, it's trial matches. Let's try almost all the tactics, the systems that we want to use. It's perfect. We'll go ahead during the World Cup. But whether we like it or not, from what we're seeing now, Inaki Williams has to play a key role in the Blasters
He's
as
a
our number
striker.
one. Yeah, that's
Who's
it.
the striker? He must start as the striker.
That's it.
There's no point taking him out of the Spain
And he's
setup
one of the new
to come
boys
and put
that
him on the bench.
he, together with Lamte, will have to be in the team today.
they
Because
should be.
if they had to engineer a team very well to the World Cup, they had to start it.
They have
You
to
know,
be.
Robert said in his message that he
Right.
said I didn't have to read it, but it was important for me, so I read it. So he said that gone were those days where we couldn't outplay them. We have a new team now.
Okay.
If we can remember the matches we had with them,
Okay.
what were the fallouts? What didn't do well for us?
I think gone are the days, they have more quality players than us. That's one best thing to say.
Brazil,
Gone are the days. Their players were more better than us.
Brazil, and
In the
today
previous games that we played,
Yeah.
when we played them
their
those
players
times,
were better.
they were
How
far
about
better
today?
than us. Okay, I think the comparison you would say when you want to weigh between
Not
1
so
and 10,
wide.
you could say maybe 9 to 6, because most of these
That's
players
still
are
big.
most
But
of
that's
these players
still
are
big.
applying their trade in Europe, and that's also the Brazilians.
96.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
9-6 ratio. That's still huge.
But
That's
it's better now.
significant.
It's even better now.
No, but you're saying 9-6 ratio now.
I'm doing the comparison between the both two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm
It's better
saying,
now. It's better
even
now.
with a 9-6 ratio,
Yeah.
that's the difference between putting the ball in the back of the net at every opportunity that you get to put it in the net. That's how big that difference is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because, look, the confidence that it's almost an arrogance that the Brazilians have at some times. That's how much confidence they have about playing football, no matter who they're playing against.
And that affects the results.
No, well, on many occasions they still go out and win. It was only one time I've seen them really humiliated. And you remember that in the
On their home soil against the Germans.
It's only that time I've seen real humiliations of the Brazilians. But by and large, when they go out there, they do the business. Of course, they've how many times they won the World Cup? Is it 5 or 6?
Yeah,
or-
5 times.
5 times.
5 times, yeah.
And they're always in the World Cup. So whether they win the World Cup this time round, next time it comes up, they'll still qualify.
They'll be there.
And that's what makes them the best. Consistency from start right the way up till now. They will always qualify because they've got that quality. I think we don't have to worry so much about beating them. It's about the performance.
Yeah.
It's about, when we try to compare players one-on-one, for me it doesn't work because I believe that it's an overall team performance that is required. If I'm expecting magic, I'm expecting it from Neymar. I'm expecting it from the opposition. I'm not expecting it from us because we have to take on the Brazilians collectively.
Who'll be taking on Neymar?
Who will be defending against him? Probably Jiku. Or he'll probably come from the left. It could be Tariq. Depending on,
Because he play on the flanks most of the time.
Yeah, he comes in a lot from the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Cuts in and curls the ball into top corner
Yeah.
or bottom corner.
That would be a difficult job to do because remember Vinicius Junior will also be running on the flanks.
Well, that's another
so
problem.
that would be difficult.
That's
very,
another
very,
problem.
Very difficult. But I like what you're saying. Performance is very, very key this time round in the game tonight. It's
Yeah.
not bad. The results will not be too much
No.
because they can spank us 5 goals to 1. But if you see
No,
the
they
quality
can't
that
do
we
that.
have,
Charlie,
I'm saying
chill.
that if they do, Let's forget about the goals and see whether we are making a headway.
Yeah.
Because the decision to play the Brazilians, one, it has to do with the Uruguayans at the World Cup. And
Oh.
we remember that we have a beef with the Uruguayans after embarrassing us in South Africa when we needed to qualify. That issue of playing to score against them is huge. I think that culminated in the decision to play Brazil, because you can't go to a friendly to go and play against an opponent you are playing at a World Cup. They will not come to you.
Yeah.
So you need to play somebody around their region, and Uruguay in South America. That's why we chose the Brazilians. And when you talk about South American football, they are the best. They will offer you the opportunity to get into your strategy very well. So like I said, let's get into this very game, get performance, not results, though results very important. But let's get what we have to do. Let's get our system after the 3 matches, not only the Brazilian game, against Uruguay, Nicaragua, and Switzerland. Let's get a system, that possible team that we're playing at the World Cup. If we said we are going there to look for results, believe me, we'll be laughing the wrong side of our mouth if we don't get the performance base very well prior to the World Cup, which is very important. So in this situation, I'm just hoping that Otuado and the Chargers will sit down very well, analyze the situation. How are we going to fix the old boys into the new boys? Because whether you like it or not, the bars in which they brought into the team is seen all over. If you watch what is going on in France, since the new boys came out, there's some form of unity over there. I'm just hoping it will be kept before this very much and after.
Yeah, I was wondering if we have that when we're talking about a mix of the old players and the new players. I was wondering if we've been able to bond.
The old players aren't that old.
Yeah.
In that respect. In that respect. No, I'm not talking in terms of age.
Yeah.
But the players, the new players that have been called in, they're not used to this clap-hand and blah 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 and jammer and rare. Because when they go into their changing rooms in their respective clubs, what happens is football. It's football talk through and through. There's no singing and blah, blah, and not in that respect. They may even throw on one or two soul stuff or high life or blah, blah, and they're going into it that way.
Yeah.
The focus is on the match. There's no one else that can help them to succeed or be successful in the match apart from themselves, them and their colleagues. And that's where the focus is. And these boys, the way they focus, they're just thinking football. That's what they're thinking, football. There's nothing else that can help them.
Wondering what they do that works for them so much. Is it that they thinking football, as you're saying, we are not doing something where they are doing something? What is making them so much the best of the world?
What, you mean the players that we've called in?
No, I'm talking Brazilians.
Oh, the
actually.
Brazilians. Well, it's a tradition, isn't it, to be honest with you?
I see that,
It's a tradition. Brazilian football. I mean, look, they play football at midnight. They've got the floodlights on them, various different places, various different venues, and they're playing football. They play football 24/7. It's a living tradition. If you're in Brazil and you don't play football, it's like, sorry?
Get to the beaches in Sao Paulo or whether in Rio de Janeiro. It's part of their culture.
Yeah,
It's a way to beat poverty. That's
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
It's a way to beat poverty. So it's part of their system. It's part of their culture.
It's an investment they
That's
make.
it.
Massive investment.
Yeah.
And they don't joke with it either, do they? I mean, look, they churn out championship players every single day of the week, basically, don't they? Every season, there's someone, or there are some players. Every season.
If you're able to stabilize yourself in the Brazilian national team for 10 years, then you should be very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good. Because day in and day out, they bring in more players.
There's more
They
players.
produce more players. And when they check up in Europe, the numbers, South American players, with the exception, I think, and the Argentines, they are the most everywhere.
Yeah,
whether
they're
it's in
everywhere.
France, whether it's in Italy, whether it's in Portugal, even in Russia, you find Brazilian players almost over there. And statistics shows that they ship out close to about 600 players within every 2 seasons across the world. That's how come we find a Brazilian in Ghana league.
Oh, that Gama. Yeah.
That's why we find
yeah,
a Brazilian in Ghana.
Yeah. And he wasn't bad too.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad. He couldn't play for their national team, but he wasn't bad. He added value. He added value.
Anyway, so we're looking at Ghana versus Brazil. If you have, I don't know if people still do predictions. I want my team to win, but I don't predict.
It's tricky, isn't it? I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm not interested in the result that much. I want to see
Performance.
what it is we have there.
Just like you don't want us to be embarrassed. That's it.
Yeah, I don't want us to be embarrassed, obviously not. But I want to see what we have there, how the technical team combines it, you know, how cohesive it is.
I will come back to coaches when you mentioned technical team. I'll come back to coaches. The coaches we had before, their style of play, and what we have now, and his style of play. If it's possibly going to work for us. If we have some videos of maybe our old matches, our producers will give it to us. But for now, let's go for a breather. We'll be back shortly. All right. Okay. Let's come back. We're back. So it's good afternoon, Ghana. We have Yao Ampo for Ankara, who's joined us from France. He's with the team members. Exciting to have you, Yao. Thank you so much for your time. Good afternoon. Okay, so we're hoping to hear. Are you still muted? Kindly check your mic if it's muted. I'm sure you are muted. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Great,
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you so much. And I'm in the studio with Nana Ajiman and Phil John Corte. The both are wondering why I have my flag on my face and they think I'm preparing for a disaster. I don't know what picture you can give us from France. What's going on there?
Well, it's exciting. It's a new era. There are a lot of questions. I'm sure you at home, Africans around the globe, especially those who are in.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think your video is off. So if you can enable the video.
It's happened again. Okay, that's odd. Am I back?
You're not on screen, so I just want to see you on screen.
Okay.
Okay, but you continue talking as you try to enable the video. We're listening. Hello, Yao.
You know?
Okay, we're listening to you. So as you try to enable the video, you continue talking. We can hear you. Hello? Okay. I guess we can see him.
You can see me now?
I can see you now. Yeah, I can see you clearly now. All right. So
you hear me?
Right, I can hear you. So tell us what you said
Okay.
is exciting there. What's going on?
It's exciting because
Oh man. Okay, so we're trying to connect with Yampo for Ankara to give us a feel of the atmosphere in France as we prepare to meet Brazilians at 16 hours, as Phil John Corte will always like to put it today. There's 18 hours, right? So let's see. Is it starting exactly at 18 hours or 30? Okay. All right. So let's see if we can get back Yao Povanka just to take us through what's going on there. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. So now go ahead. We had a break in the link.
Right.
All right.
Okay. So what I was saying is that, look, Otto Addo, yesterday I tried to prize something out of him in terms of, coach, between you and me, I know you're not going to give away your starting lineup, but between you and me, what should we be expecting? And he was like, "Oh, don't worry, myself, I'll make it happen." So, Coach Otto Addo may surprise us, or we may get, a lineup that a lot of people are speculating about. I'm not going to speculate. I think Coach Otto Addo who also wants to surprise the Brazilians, they will be asking, what lineup will these Ghanaians be playing with us? And I think that's what makes it quite an interesting encounter. I know there are a lot of detractors, there are a lot of naysayers and doubters, not because the Black Stars have not been thrilling so far, but more so because of the Brazilians. They've been in exceptional form in their recent games. And I think you'd have to look back at their last major loss was against Argentina in the final of the Copa, America. That was some time ago. They literally breezed through the qualifiers, of the CONMEBOL World Cup zone. They literally breezed through, conceded just 5 goals, scoring almost 40. So they have an abundance of riches. We don't need to mention names. I think you and I, we've become accustomed to Neymar. We've become accustomed, to Vinicius Jr. more recently. But there are other players who do the hard work that we don't necessarily make too much noise about, even in the defense and the goalkeepers. And Brazil is just awesome. And that is why most people have said they would beat Ghana. They may beat Ghana, they're favorites, but I don't agree that they will thrash Ghana. I've read, I've seen a lot of people saying that they will thrash Ghana mercilessly, but I doubt that would happen. I hope I'm not proven wrong.
And what factors are you basing your hopes and optimism on?
Okay, there are 2 factors here. This is the first time we're having a technical team that I would not, I wouldn't say they're not naive. I would say they're proactive in the use of the players at their disposal. And I mean, they're fortunate now to have one, Inaki Williams, Tariq Lamptey, Salisu has decided to play for Ghana. There are other players on the fringes, and there are other players who have been in the squad for a while, and they know that this is their last chance. And after this is it, including the captain, Andre Dedeayu. It is a friendly game, but it is one of the biggest, teams you would want to sparkle against. It doesn't come bigger than Brazil. So why not show it here tonight, in Le Havre? And I think this is where the players would rise to the occasion. I was talking to a Paris-based Ghanaian journalist, and he was saying that tonight we need to see the stubborn academy version of the Black Stars. And I think you and I know what it means. You and I know what it means. A team that would defy the odds and refuse to go according to the script. And the script that has been written by everybody in Ghana, Yabesha Ghana. If you read the pre-match analysis, Ghana will be beaten. If you look at all the top analysts and pundits, the Brazilians would have, they're not saying an easy game, but they're very confident that the Black Stars, will not be able to get away with a win. The best for the Black Stars to them is a draw. And I think that gives Otto Addo a little bit of room to operate. It takes a lot of pressure off the players themselves to work in that vacuum. After all, everybody's expecting the Black Stars to be beaten. And some are asking me, what's my prediction of the scoreline? Would you think it to be 3-0, 3-1? And I have to tell them that, no, let's wait. The lineup will come out very soon. I don't think it will wait as late as we did when Ghana was playing against Nigeria home and away in the World Cup qualifiers, but we will have the lineup very soon. And based on that lineup, we'll be able to tell exactly what Coach Otto Addo is thinking. And I have to respect his wishes, basically saying that, don't worry, it'll come out, you can predict, go ahead. But I need to do 1 or 2 things. I'm sure 1 hour to kick off, maybe earlier, we will have the lineup, and then we can ask ourselves if these boys can have a good start against the Brazilians.
I asked the question here in the studio. I want to find out if 2 things. First of all, how is the bonding like in the camp amongst the players? And second of all, as much as we see this match as quite controversial, are we getting the same sense from the Brazilians?
It's controversial?
Yeah.
It is? Well, I don't know. It's not controversial. in I don't know what term, maybe the venue. A lot of fans wanted it to be played in Paris, but um, it is a huge game. A lot of international coverage, global viewership, and also attention. But I believe the players know what's at stake.
Yeah,
And
but maybe
in
I just have
camp,
to put it
Yeah,
this way:
what's at stake?
Do Brazilians see us, even though they know they're the world best players, do they see us as competitive as much as we see them when we are going to play Brazilians? We get very excited. We can almost, can't wait to see the end of the game. Is that how they consider Ghanaian players or Ghanaian Black Stars?
this is another match for Brazil. Honestly, this is just another game for Brazil. They're so used to playing at the highest level against the highest teams that, without disrespecting the Black Stars, this is just
Wow.
another match for them. And they're
Okay.
very professional about it. I
Wow.
think what would be in their mind is that once in a while, these Africans can be stubborn. Let's hope it's not tonight, because if it's tonight, then it's going to be a long night for us. They know that the Africans have a tendency to put it on or turn it on. But the problem is the Africans are not consistent, and that includes Ghana. If it's Cameroon, if it's Senegal, if it's the Ivory Coast, So they know their favorites. They know they've done their homework on Ghana. They believe they can win, possibly comfortably, but they're also wary that if should Ghana decide that this is the night we want to make a statement, then we could be in for a very interesting night. But if it's the same old Ghana, and if we're not tactically suave and smart, and we don't pay attention and we don't concentrate, then it would rather be a long night for the Black Stars of Ghana. How will Inaki Williams fare? Should he start? If I was the coach and if I was to advise him, I'd say start him. You've seen him a few days, start him. He knows what's up. He plays against these players. In fact, all our players play in La Liga or the Serie A or the EPL against the Brazilians week in, week out. I don't think it's a case of being overawed.
They've
It's
bonded
about
well
the
in the camp.
team. They're bonding very well from what I've seen. Pre 2006 in Germany, I was with the team, and I think that was probably one of the most heights of unity when Stephen Appiah, led the team, and there were other big boys in there, Michael Essien, Sule Muntari, Asamoah Gyan. These guys all had they had their egos, but the captain was able to, the captain and the coach at the time and the FA were able to handle and manage them so that their strengths and their egos were prominent on the pitch,
Right.
and not off it. And I think if you look at this current squad, maybe Nana and Johnny would agree or disagree. Player for player, this current squad is the most star-studded in current football. If you look at where Tariq Williams is being projected as, in the next few years, if you look at Inaki Williams, what he's done with Athletic Bilbao, if you look at other players who in and out, if you look at Kudus beginning to show what Tom Vernon at Right to Dream Academy said a few years ago, that if Kudus can live up to what I think he will be one of the best players in the world, and Ghana has a gem.
Right.
Is this the moment? He's scoring, he's playing well. Can he keep it up? Can he do it against Brazil? This is where players are judged. Club level, great. National team, can you bring it on? And that is why Asamoah Gyan has been missed for some time. And it's about time the great Asamoah Gyan sits back and says, finally, we found a replacement, or the team is as good as the one we had in Germany or South Africa, where Ghana were just inches away from making history. I think that it will take time, and I hope Brazil is not a test too early for this crop of players. That is the worry. I hope it's not a test too early for a well-oiled machine like, the Seleção of Brazil.
Yeah, thank you. Interesting. Your ending comments were actually quite interesting. So we'll end here. Our time is up, but we'll definitely get back to you when we need some more support from where you are. And Young Professor Ankara is in France coming through with some of the reports. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. Enjoy
Right.
the rest of your day.
Okay, so our time is up, but let's wrap up. Let me start off with you, Phil. 30
simple,
seconds. No,
simple.
10 seconds.
Let's look for performance-based results. That's the most important thing.
But for you especially, Yao disagrees. He thinks that we can actually do something.
Of course,
It's
yes.
a whole new team.
The Brazilians are 11 players. We'll go in with 11 players. Anything can happen. But I'm saying that if it's a win for Ghana, that will be the eighth wonder of the world. I'm looking for a performance-based performance from the Black Stars, hoping that we'll not be embarrassed. Let's get a good game out of this match and build upon this one before we play against Nicaragua. Then we'll form a base on how to play the Swiss. Then we can get a team to the World Cup.
To the World Cup. Nana.
Well, for me, I'm not expecting a win. It'd be a bonus if we win. I'm looking at things technically. I'm very interested in seeing how the technical team will set the whole thing out. I believe it should be a 3-5-2 formation, because when you set out a formation like that, it gives you the impetus for attack, but also when you are defending, your wing backs can also come back and join the three in defence, and you can have 5 going across the back. I think Tariq Lamptey must start. I think the Williams boy must start. I think Semenya boy must start. I think we've got to be careful how we use Partey. Obviously, Ayu's got to be in there, but whether he can play 90 minutes is another thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he can. I think he's slowed down. But he is also someone who's quite clinical when he gets into the box. So I think he can provide an assist or goals. I think Kudos, just let Kudos do what he wants to do. Put him in there behind the two attackers and let him move around, because he's now developing the style where his instincts take over. He's 18 yards out, 16 yards out. He lets fly with that left foot, and it can be in the back of the net. So it's all about performance for me.
But what will be your
cohesion.
preferred scoreline? What will be your preferred scoreline?
2-0 against Brazil.
I'll buy you lunch.
No. If we're able to get that 2-0, it's not, lunch is not enough. But I think Jan Pofrankar stated that if you have confidence, you have some pride, let it show on the field and on the pitch. And that's what we're expecting the Black Stars to do, just like the Brazils will do on the pitch as well. Best luck, or better luck for all of us. Come 18:30 GMT, right? 18:30. Yep. Okay. So let's see how it goes. This has been Good Afternoon, Ghana. I hope you have enjoyed the analysis. Be optimistic. Please don't be like Nana or Phil. Let's just hope.